What is going on, everyone? We're right here for Student Aesthetics, and in today's video I want to talk about lean bulking. If you are into fitness, or if you're watching more of my videos or fitness related videos, you always hear the terms bulking and cutting. And cutting basically means stripping off fat, and then bulking means building muscle. Because the two of these cannot really be done properly at the same time. Well, they actually can, but in very limited circumstances. So in general, you want to focus on either bulking up or cutting down. And the most effective way of bulking up, in my experience, is to do it without gaining too much fat. So being in a lean bulking phase is what I like to call it. Whereas you focus on putting on muscle while limiting the amount of fat so that your body composition will get a lot greater. And then after a couple of months, you will cut down in order to reveal the muscle beneath the little bit of fat that you put on as well. Because I am gonna keep it real, there is really no way to put on muscle while putting on no fat at all, right? But you also gotta realize that even if you put on a little bit of fat while gaining muscle, you might actually look leaner and you might actually look better than you did before without the fat. But then again, the cutting phase will help you really quickly with cutting that fat down. So there's really nothing to worry about, and I feel like a lot of people are really scared to do so. And that's why a lean bulk is really the way to go, because you will put on minimal amounts of fat that you will strip off very, very quickly. So our first tip, and pretty much the most important one, is to stay in a small caloric surplus, which means you will stay in a surplus of about 200 to 300 calories above your maintenance level. Now what that means is your body needs a certain amount of calories to stay exactly the same, right? To stay at the same weight, to not put on any muscle and not lose any fat, to remain the same. Now if you eat below your maintenance calories, your body will strip off fat, and if you eat over those maintenance calories, your body will have extra energy to put on muscle mass. Now the reason you only want to eat 200 to 300 calories above your maintenance is because if you go way over that, your body will store more fat, all right? Because it will have too much energy that it will not put to use into building muscle, so it will store it as fat. So now you're probably wondering how to calculate my maintenance level. I might make a separate video about this soon. Let me know if you guys want in the comments down below. But you basically want to start off with a calculator if you don't know where to start, and then simply track your weight for about 1 to 2 weeks and see if your weight goes up or goes down. If it goes up, you're eating over your maintenance. If it goes down, you're eating under your maintenance. And if it stays the same, you're eating at your maintenance calories. So then you want to add about 200 to 300 calories above those maintenance calories. And then the second tip will be to add in some additional cardio as well, because cardio will burn more energy, which means you can even eat more than those 200 to 300 calories over your maintenance, but then just implement some cardio so that you will stay in a slight caloric surplus, and so that you can even eat more calories, next to obviously the health benefits that cardio has to offer. And that's why I recommend doing cardio pretty much year round, because you also don't want to run out of bread like the majority of the year and then only do cardio when you cut down. It doesn't make any sense. And now who doesn't want to eat a lot of food? Because when you're in a lean bulking phase, you're not going to be able to pig out all the time, right? Because that's not going to be a lean bulk anymore. You're not going to stay lean. So that is why I do recommend doing some additional cardio to be able to eat more calories. And then the third tip is focus on making strength gains, all right? The gains in your weight will not be as big as when you're cutting down, right? When you're cutting down, you will see visual changes. You will see the skill dropping every single week. That is not going to happen when you are in a lean bulking phase. And that's why you really want to track your workouts, and you want to get stronger every single workout. Add reps to your lifts, add weights to your lifts, maybe do more sets, include more volume, but over the time you want to increase, because progressive overload is the main driver of muscle growth and is the key to making gains as a natural lifter, all right? So you want to get strong as hell on your lifts. This applies to women as well, right? All the advice I'm giving applies to women as well. So you want to get as strong as possible, and that's basically how you track whether you are doing a successful bulk or not. If the weights are not going up, you're not successfully putting on muscle mass, all right? So you may have to increase your calories if you're staying at the same weight, or you may have to bust your ass a little bit harder, but you have to make those strength gains in the gym in order to put on muscle mass. Then my fourth tip is apply mini cuts, and those are basically small cutting phases that can take from 3 to maybe 6 weeks maximum, and that's really to clean up some gains, right? So if you have been lean bulking for a while, and I'm talking about literally months, all right, because you want to stay in a caloric surplus for months, all right? Because in that way you're able to make a lot of strength gains, all right? That doesn't happen within 1 to 2 months, all right? It literally takes months, or even literally years, all right? I'm not lying. So I do recommend implementing mini cuts once you start to get pretty fat, right? Or once you start to feel uncomfortable with the amount of fat that you have on your body, just do a mini cut of 3 to 6 weeks to clean up some gains, and after that you can go back into the lean bulking phase right away. And so during the mini cut, you don't have to gradually lower your calories. You want to do it aggressively. So you want to quickly drop the calories for a few weeks and then directly go back into the lean bulking phase. And it will not just help with cleaning up gains, but it will psychologically also be kind of like a reset, so that after that you're really excited to get back into the gym and to hit those heavy weights again and make strength gains. And then my last step is basically to accept the fact that you will not see a lot of changes, all right? And that is the harsh reality about bulking, and that's why people always like to cut down instead of bulking, because cutting down will give you visual results every single week, all right? You look in the mirror and you get leaner. When you are bulking, you will not see yourself getting bigger every single week, or not even every single month. You will pretty much look the same all the time, because building muscle is a very, very slow process, all right? Unless you're obviously on steroids. But if you're natural, it's a very, very slow process, and it will literally take months for you to start noticing something, and you will pretty much most likely only notice it once you really start cutting down. And that is the harsh reality, and that's something you have to accept. And that's why I said, you know, making those strength gains is the most important thing, and the most important tracking device that you can pretty much use to know whether your lean bulk is doing successfully or not, right? But as far as the visual changes go, you will really have to accept that you will not see very big changes, but that your body is changing from the inside, all right? And that is fitness. Fitness is a marathon, not a sprint. And this is also a reason why you don't wanna up your calories too drastically, all right? This is what a lot of people do as well. Because they don't see the big changes on the scale or in the mirror, they're gonna eat more and eat more because they feel like they're not making progress. And in that way, they will not do a clean bulk anymore, but they will more likely do a dirty bulk, because they will be eating way too many calories above their maintenance, and they will gain weight very fast, but a lot of that will be fat and glycogen as well. So yeah, those are basically my biggest tips, and that's also exactly the way that I'm approaching it myself at the moment. Now you guys gotta realize that I need to stay pretty much lean for Instagram, for YouTube. So I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna be bulking for years, even though I would like to, because I know that that is the most optimal way to make gains. But I do highly suggest you guys to bulk as long as possible and to stay in the lean mass phase for as long as you can, while implementing those mini cuts to stay fairly lean, or at least in decent shape, and then making as much strength gains as you possibly can, and then after a while cutting down and then seeing the visual changes. And I'm telling you guys, it is worth it. This is what I have done in the beginner years of my lifting career, and you guys can check out my transformation video as well. And that is the only reason why I look the way that I do today. If I was to be cutting down all the time, I would not look the way that I do right now. I think a lot of people don't realize that. I think a lot of people don't realize that it takes so much time to put on muscle mass. That process literally takes years, so that's why I do recommend going for the lean bulk and staying in it for a long period of time. So with that said, I want to end the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like the video down below. Make sure to comment down below, subscribe to the channel for more. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out. See you in the next video.